Shalom, Kal Halal, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Bahashim Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, even the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word in truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. To the Agawah that are listening and learning, being a pillar of rest, 144,001/3, the hopeful elect of Israel. I'm the brother Yahshua, back with the World War III Daily Update. Shalom and salutation to you as well, all of you. Today is War and Rumors of War Tuesday, where we go to Matthew 24:6 and read that famous precept, or at least this part of it, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right. And then what we do is we go to these different versions and we get these differences in words. Okay, rumors. In the NIV, it's you will hear of wars and rumors of war. That's the standard. Right here we got threats. You will hear of wars and threats of wars in the NLT. So we got rumors, threats. We got battles, or Salakia reports. Reports, rumors, threats, and news. Where's the news? News of battles far away. Threats. Reports. See that threats? Well, right here, what do we have? Threat. We got that threat level. It says Joe Blogs, Salakia. Joe Blogs channel 8 minutes ago. This is how new it is. Russian nuclear attack threat on London. There's that word threat. See what Joe Blogs is saying here.
Hi, welcome back to Joe Blogs. In today's episode, I want to share with you a video that's being circulated on Telegram, which is the most widely used social media app in Russia. It's basically the WhatsApp equivalent in Russia.
I smell a conspiracy and a threat. What do you call it? It's just a rumor.
This video shows what will happen if a nuclear weapon is detonated over central London. Now,
rumor.
Clearly, the timing of the release of this video is really quite interesting because there is so much going on right now with regards to what's happening in Ukraine. Ukraine is currently requesting that the UK and the USA and other countries allow it to use long-range weapons to be able to strike deep into the heart of Russia. And Russia has said that if that is allowed, then those countries will be deemed to be joining in the war by Russia and they'll take appropriate action. And also, we've got rising tensions in the Middle East right now. Israel has launched multiple attacks on Hezbollah in Lebanon, and that's raising tension, particularly in Iran, who are supporters of Hezbollah, and they are threatening to join that fight. And if they do, there is a serious risk that the USA could be drawn in on the side of Israel. So there are rising tensions right now in terms of the potential threat of some sort of nuclear strike. So let's have a look at the video, and then after this, I'll
sound like a rumor to me. What do you think?
Summarise what I think is going on right now and why this video has been released.
Imagine for a moment that the unimaginable happens. A nuclear weapon explodes over London. In this documentary, we explore the devastating consequences of this catastrophe. In the simulation, we will use a warhead with a yield of 750 kilotons. That's a pretty powerful charge. Some US and Russian ballistic missiles are capable of carrying up to 10 charges in a single missile. Upon detonation, a fireball as hot as the sun rapidly expands, reaching a radius of 950 meters. Anything trapped inside this fireball is instantly vaporized. In our simulation, the epicenter of the explosion is at Westminster. People within that radius won't even feel anything because the nerve impulse transmission speed is slower. Within 5 kilometers of the epicenter, the blast radius. City of London, Camden Town, Kensington, Brixton. These areas will receive the most destruction. Buildings will be destroyed and debris will fill the streets, creating extremely dangerous conditions for everyone in the vicinity. Given the population density in central London, the initial death toll could exceed 250,000 people and around 600,000 injured. Within a radius of 10 kilometers, the radiation will cause third-degree burns. Within that radius, anything that can burn will catch fire. Gas stations, automobiles, power substations, gas infrastructure. Explosive facilities will explode and amplify the effect of the devastation over a huge area.
Go ahead.
3,000 people will die from burns, debris injuries, or radiation sickness, and over 1 million will be traumatized. Many of these injuries could prove fatal over the next days and weeks. Radiation sickness in particular will take lives days and weeks later. In time, about 100,000 more will be added to the death toll. Within an 18-kilometer radius of the blast, the shock wave will be enough to shatter windows, causing additional casualties to people who come to the windows when they see the nuclear blast.
They're talking about one warhead right here. What about 200 million warheads? What about that?
The shock wave will reach Hounslow, Edgware, and Enfield. Depending on the wind, the fallout could spread well beyond the immediate blast zone, potentially affecting areas up to 5 to 10 kilometers away, causing damage even in regions such as Essex or Surrey. The estimated casualties in the event of a 750 kiloton nuclear bomb exploding in London would be about 850,000 people dead and about 2 million injured. If the explosion were to occur on the ground rather than in the air, the fallout map would be greatly expanded, and the radioactive fallout could even reach Manchester, infecting people, land, and animals.
What about 200 million missiles?
The problem with a nuclear explosion in London is also that London is essentially not designed to survive such a disaster. 11 of London's 20 major hospitals would be within the blast. The remaining hospitals would be physically unable to cope with the number of victims. Many people are still alive under the rubble of the buildings, suffering burns, but no one will be able to help them.
They're going to pray for death.
Achieve perfect eyesight.
Let's lock it. Let's see what he's going to say on the back end of this, and we'll go ahead and close it.
So not surprisingly, that's a pretty depressing tale of events. If a nuclear weapon does explode over central London, hundreds of thousands of people, potentially millions of people, will lose their lives. And obviously, the UK is a nuclear force. It has nuclear weapons of its own. So if a strike did take place over central London, it is virtually guaranteed that the UK would strike back. And it's not stated in that video who's actually launched that missile. There's a reference saying that both the USA, they're named first, and Russia have warheads of that size. But clearly, in terms of where this video is being posted and circulated, there is a strong inference that it could be coming from Russia. And in fact, why would the USA be detonating a nuclear weapon over London?
Because you turned on them. Because the USA turned on London.
They have been very long-term allies, and they've joined forces. They're in NATO together. It's extremely unlikely that the USA would ever detonate a nuclear bomb over London.
Not true.
Most likely option is that it's coming from Russia.
Could be. So we'll end it right there on what? Some rumors. All right. We don't know if that's true. We know that these shall hate the whore, right? We know that your allies, Babylon's allies, are going to turn on her. We know that, right? So we'll go out like this. Okay. It's Revelation 11. We're going to show the missiles detonating, and then we're going to show the escape plan. Okay, here's the missiles detonating. What is this, Berean? Revelation 11:13, and in that hour was there, Salaki, and in that hour there was a great earthquake, and a tenth of the city collapsed. That's America, Babylon the Great. 10 FEMA zones, 10 zip codes. The great earthquake is those missiles hitting. 7,000 means everybody was killed in the quake. And the rest were terrified and gave glory to the power of heaven. Who's the rest? The rest is the ones that had the escape plan. Revelation 11 and 12. And the witnesses heard a loud voice from heaven saying, "Come up here." And they went up to heaven in a cloud as their enemies watched them. So this is the escape plan, the rescue mission. And they went up to heaven in a cloud. Okay? So those, the witnesses, the elect of Israel, who will be rescued, saved, if you will, they're not going to see whatever this guy's bringing out here. Okay? So you only know a small portion of the whole story. But anyway, as you can see, this is in the near future. Okay? They're wargaming it. They're mapping it out. Right? Let's go back to the top. It's a threat, right? Where are we going? Matthew. Here. The threat of war. And you will hear, Matthew 24 and 6, and you will hear of wars, yeah? The greater war, the regional war in the Middle East. That's a war. And here's a threat that London could be receiving a nuclear attack soon. All right? And there you have the prophecies jumping off the page. So with that, we hope that the elect edified you, brothers and sisters, with that shalom.